13.4, comparing direct proportion and inverse proportion. What is the difference between direct and inverse? First, if we have y and x are directly proportional, okay? So if we have two quantities, directly proportional. So if you multiply, for example, if you multiply x by any number, you have to multiply y by the same number. Look for 3. 3 multiplied by 2 equals 6. So we multiply 24 by 2 to get 48. When we multiply 3 by 5, we multiply y by 5. When we multiply x by, for example, by 1.5, we multiply y by 1.5. So this direct proportion. If you multiply or divide a value of x by a number, you multiply or divide y by the same number. We can write the formula for direct proportion. For example, we need to find the relation between y and x. So if you divide y by x, 24 divided 3 equal 8. So we can say that y equal 8x. Y equals 8x, okay? So y equal number times x. So we can use the formula to find the missing. Or also we can use cross multiply to find the missing value. In direct proportion, we can use cross multiply to find the missing value. For example, if I need this value, we can multiply 24 times 4.5 divided by 3. So you can use cross multiply to find the missing value. Okay? The ratio between y and the x constant. 24 divided 3 equal 8. 36 divided 4.5 equals 8. 48 divided by 6. So the ratio between y and x constant. Same ratio. And you can check with your calculator. Divide y by x, divide y by... You get the same number. So this direct proportion. Okay? So direct proportion, when you multiply x by any number, you have to multiply y by the same number. The ratio is constant. The formula y equal mx, m any number. M number according to the values you have. Okay? For inverse proportion, look for x and y. They are in inverse proportion now. When we multiply x by 2, we divide y by 2. X increase, y decrease. Okay, by the same ratio. So when we multiply by 2, we divide by 2. So if you multiply a value by x, you divide y by the same number. This inverse proportion. Okay? Now if you multiply x times y, 3 times 24, 72. 4.5 times 16, 72. 6 times 12, 72. So the product is constant. Same product, okay? So we can write the formula x multiply y equals 72. Because if you multiply x by y, you get the same number, which is 72 in this example. So x times y equal k. K is a number according to the values you have. Okay? For in this example, x times y equals 72. Now you can write the formula x times y equals 72, or you can write y equals 72 over x. Or you can write x equals 72 over y. Now you cannot find the missing number by cross multiply. You can find the missing value by line multiply. For example, if I need to find this value, multiply 3 times 24, then divide 4.5. So you can find the missing value with line multiply. 3 times 24, then divide 4.5 to get this value. Understood? So for direct, cross multiply. For inverse, line multiply. Question number 1. George is walking at a constant speed. In 10 minutes, he walks 750 meters. He walks d meters in t minutes. Write down a formula for d in terms of t. This direct or inverse? Move with constant speed. Direct, because if you increase the time, the distance increase by the same ratio. Okay? So they increase together by the same ratio. So this direct. If you move with constant speed, so this direct proportion. Because in 10 minutes, 750. So in 20 minutes, 750 times 2. In 30 minutes, 750 multiplied 3. Okay? Because if the time increase, the distance increase. Because you move with constant speed. So this direct or inverse? Direct. Because they increase together by the same ratio. Now he walks d meters in 10 minutes. Write down a formula for d in terms of t.
D times T equals 700.
Wait. To find the ratio, I told you that before. In direct proportion, the relation y equal mx. Am I right? In this case, he walks d meters, so d equals m times t. Okay? M is the constant speed. The constant speed is what? We can find the constant speed. Divide 750 by 10. 75. So we can say that D equals 75t. D equals 75t. Now, use the formula to work out how far George walks in 28.5 minutes. So just substitute t by 28.5. Because we have t and we need to find d. Okay? So the first step in this question, to find m, divide d by t.
So this is B?
Yes, this is the answer for A. Okay, this is the answer for A. He walks d meter. Okay. Write the formula. This is the answer for A. This is the formula. Now to solve B, I need to find the distance when t is 28.5. So 75 times 28.5.
2,137.
137.5 meter. Okay. Number 2. Tell Shahir, read number 2.
Explain why the time taken T hours is inversely proportional to the walking speed. W kilometers per hour.
Okay. Why is this inversely proportional, not directly proportional? The distance constant. Am I right? The distance constant. 40 kilometers. So if you increase the speed, the time increase or decrease? Decrease, because constant distance. The distance is constant, same 40 kilometers. So if you increase your speed, the time will be less. If you decrease the speed, the time will be more. So this inversely proportional. This inversely proportional because if you increase the speed, you decrease the time. If you decrease the speed, you increase the time because you have constant speed. You have constant speed. Okay? For B, write down a formula connecting between T and W. T and W. T is the time, W is the average speed. T in A, because we have constant speed, so if you increase the time, if you increase the speed, decrease the time. If you decrease the speed, increase the time. So the time and the speed, if one of them increase, the other decrease by the same ratio. Now for B, write down a formula connecting T and W. We agree that if we have inversely proportional, the product is constant. So T times W, the time times W is constant, is equal what? Equal the distance, which is 40. So T, W equal 40. Or you can write T equals 40 over W. Or W equal 40 over T. So you can write the formula by 3 ways. Okay? T times W equal 40. T equal 40 over W. Or W equal 40 over T. These are some tables of values. Say whether show direct proportion or inverse proportion or neither of these. Give a reason for each case. For A, if you can solve, just raise your hand. If you can solve, just raise your hand. Okay? This direct or inverse or Neither. Guys, if you need to answer, just raise your hand. If you can answer, raise your hand. Bakri,
Direct.
why direct?
Neither.
It's increasing and decreasing by the same number.
Guys, for direct, ratio constant. For inverse, the product constant. So with your calculator, now find the ratio between y and x. Divide 84 by 24. Use your calculator. Divide 84 by 24. 3? Sorry? What? 3.5. Okay. Same. 45.5 divide 13. Divide y by x. If we get the same number for all, so this direct. Do we have the same number for all? 3.5 for all? Okay. So this direct proportion. So this direct proportion because the ratio is constant. The ratio is constant. Understood?
They say work out the formula.
Yeah. Yes. So 24 divide or 84 divide 24 equal 45.5 divide 13. This is what we did.
Sir, this is A.
Yes, this is A. 147. All what you need to know, this is A or B. But you didn't ask how can we solve. You didn't ask how to understand. All what you need, which one to write. This A, just write A. 42 equals 115.5 divide 33 equal 3.5. So this direct proportion. So just write that for A. Done with A?
Yes.
Because the ratio is constant. Now for B. This direct or inverse? Who can solve? Smart student. If you can answer, just raise your hand. Yes, Atif.
So 12 multiplied by 15 gets you the same answer as 30 multiplied by 6.
You need to check all, not the first two. 12 times 15 equals what?
I don't know, sorry.
So how do you know they are the same?
Because one is increasing and the other is also is decreasing.
12 multiplied 15 is 180. 30 times 6, 180. 24 times 7.5, 180. 2 times 90, 180. So if you multiply C times D, you get the same number. Okay? So C times D equals 180 for all. Okay? So this inverse proportion. Because if you multiply C times D, you get the same number for all.
So can we do it?
Sir, can I?
Can we divide the numbers by each other and then
For direct, the ratio is constant. So you have to check it. You have to divide y by x for all. But for inverse, why I exclude that they are direct? Because when C increase, D decrease. So this cannot be direct at all. So you don't need to find the ratio between them. So this is not direct because C increase and D decrease. So this doesn't work to be direct proportion. Now, how to check if it's inverse or not? Find the product. If we find the product for each pair and we find that all of them have the same number, so this inverse proportion. Okay?
why do you not like in A we divided and then at D we multiplied?
For direct proportion, what is the relation direct proportion? The direct proportion, the ratio is constant. But for inverse, the product is constant. Okay? So for direct, you need to divide to check. For inverse, you need to multiply y by x to check. Okay? For C, when F increase, R increase. So this may be direct proportion. We need to check. We need to find the ratio between R and F for all values. So divide 0.4 by 3.8, 6.2 by 58.9, and so on. If you get the same ratio, so this direct proportion. Do we have the same ratio?
No.
Because the last two is different. Okay? So this not direct or inverse. Because the product also is not constant. If you multiply, the product is not constant. So cannot be inverse because when when F increase, R increase, this cannot be inverse. So this is not direct or inverse. Okay? Now for D. D direct or inverse? Inverse? Did you check? Did you find the product for all? You get the same number? You can check. You cannot say that without checking. So 0.6 times 0.6, 0.36. Did you get 0.36 for all if you when you multiply? Multiply U times W.
No, no.
You have the same number?
Yes.
So multiply U times W for all. So for the first one, when you multiply 0.36, the same for all?
Yes.
So this inverse proportion. Because the product is constant. Understood? So if the product is constant, this inverse. The ratio is constant, this direct. None of them, so this neither direct or inverse. Number 4, does this graph show direct proportion? Justify your answer.
No.
Why you answer without permission? If you can answer, just say your hand. Yes, Raneem.
No, because like it's not in the center.
Yes.
The line doesn't come at zero at the point.
Yes, the line doesn't pass through the origin. Because I told you that direct proportion represented by straight line passing through the origin. This passing through the origin?
No.
So this is not direct. Okay? Because the line doesn't pass through the origin.
So it's inverse?
Not inverse.
It's not.
Yes.
It's
Okay. Number 5. Does this graph show inverse proportion? Justify your answer. This inverse proportion? Yes, Asma. Can you answer? This inverse? Is it inverse or not? How can you check if it's inverse or not? This inverse, but why inverse? Guys, for inverse proportion, the product is constant. Am I right? The product is constant. Now, for example, this point. If we take this point, 4, x equal 4, y equal 2. If you multiply them, 4 times 2 equals 8. Now for this point, 1 times 5 equals 5. So we have different product. So this is inverse?
No.
So this is not inverse. This is not direct, of course. Okay? So this is not inverse because the product is not constant. So for the inverse, the product should be constant. Same number. So this is not inverse because x times y is not constant. This means not the same number. Is not the same number. Okay? Number 6, two variables x and y are in direct proportion. When x equals 60, y equal 0.2. Work out the formula for y in terms of x. I need y in terms of x. For direct proportion, y equals mx. How to find m? Just divide y by x. Divide y by x. So divide 0.2 by 60. So m equals 0.2 divided by 60. 1 over?
300.
Okay. So you can write y equal 1 over 300x. For direct proportion, y equal mx, y equal number times x. How to find this number? Divide y by x. Understood?
Yes, sir.
For B, two more variables x and y are in inverse proportion. When x equals 60, y equals 0.2. Work out a formula connecting x and y. In inverse proportion, the product is constant. The product is constant. So when you multiply x times y, you get the same number. So who can find the relation between them?
Yes, x, y equals to 12.
X times y equals 12. Because 60 times 0.2 equals 12. Okay. So for inverse proportion, x times y equal m, where m is a number. To find this number, multiply 0.2 times 60. To find m, multiply 0.2 times 60, which is 12. So x times y equals 12. This is the relation between x. This is the formula between x and y. Understood? Number 7. The graph shows two variables in direct proportion. Work out a formula for y in terms of x. Formula of y in terms of x. If direct proportion, so y equals mx. How to find m?
Divide.
Divide y by x. Divide y by x. Which y and which x? You can take any point. For example, this point. Okay. This point, y equal 3 and x equal 50. So to find m, divide y by x. So divide 3 by 50.
0.01.
You can keep 3 over 50 as a fraction. Or you can write it decimal. You have a choice. So you can write y equal 3 over 50 x. Or you can write decimal y equal 0.06.
Yes.
0.06 x. So it's the same. You can write as a fraction. You can write m as a fraction or as decimal. Understood? This graph shows two variables in inverse proportion. Work out a formula for y in terms of x. Yes, inverse proportion, so the product is constant. The product is constant. So y times x equal number, m, a number. How to find this number? Multiply x by y.
40.
So yes.
For example, if we take this point, x equal 40, y equal 1. If you multiply them, so m equal 40 times 1 equal 40. So you can write the equation y, the formula y times x equals 40. But I need y in terms of x. I need y as the subject. I need y in one side. So you can, yes, you can transpose x to the other side by division. So y equal 40 over x. Because I need y as a subject. So I need y in one side. Go ahead, number 9.
A fence is put up along one side of the school playground. It is 200 meters long. The fence is made from separate panels. Show that the number of panels needed is inversely proportional to the length of each panel.
Okay. Who can show that the number of panels is inversely proportional to the length of the panel? Yes, Raneem?
If we're gonna increase the length of panel, we're going to increase the number of panels.
If we increase the length of the panel, this means we decrease the number of the panel by the same ratio. Okay? Or you can say that to find the number of panels needed, you have to divide 200 meters, the total length, by the length of each panel. You can do that. Okay? So you can say that to find, write with me. You have many ways to prove that they are inversely proportional. To find number of panels, the number of panels needed, you have to divide (200) by the length of the panel. Okay? Same. Or you can say that if you increase the length of the panel, you decrease the number of the panels needed. Okay? So you can write both. So this inversely proportional. Now for B. Read حرية.
The table shows the costs of panels that are different lengths. Work out the total cost for each possible panel and state which panel is the cheapest.
Okay. Now how to find the cost of the panels needed if the length of each panel is 1.5? First we need to find the number of panels needed. So you have to divide 200, the total length, by 1.5. Okay? So first 200 divide by 1.5 equals 133.3. So we need 134. To find the cost, multiply by
8.6.
yes. What is the answer?
1152.4.
Yes, tell Muhammad.
1,452.4.
Okay. Now this if we use the panel with length 1.5 meter. Now for the second one, we need to find the number. Yeah. So first 200 divide 1.8. What is the answer?
111.1, which equals to
111.1. So we need 112. So to find the cost, 112.
Times 9.95
Yes.
equals 1,114.4.
1,114.4. 14.4. Okay. This is the cost from 1.8. The last one?
200 divided by 2.4.
Yes, same. 200 divide 2.4.
83.3.
83.3. So we need 84. 84 times.
11.15
Yes.
equals 136.6.
Sorry, can you?
136.6.
936.6. So which is the cheapest one?
The second one.
The second one or the third one? Third one. I need the better value is the cheapest one. Okay? So yes. So work out the total cost. And which panel is the cheapest? 2.4. The panel with length 2.4. 2.4 meter. Okay? So the cheapest one is a panel with length 2.4 meter. The cheapest.
This graph shows the this graph shows the values of two variables in inverse proportion. A. Work out a formula connecting x and y. So we're going to look at the point 5, and 1. Then it's going to be 5 times 1. I'm going to write 5 times 1 equals 5.
You multiply x by y because x times y is constant.
So, 5.
So x times y equals 5.
Yes. Now B, use your formula to find the value of y when x equals 17.5. So it's x, y equals 5. Sorry. So
Now you have x. How can you find y?
it's going to be y. going to do y. Yeah,
17.5 times y equal 5. So to find y, divide 5 by 17.5.
17.5 gives us
Equal
5.
So
Then
now y equals
we're going to put the 17 over there, which is going to be y equals 5 divide 17.5, which is going to give us 2 over 7.
For number 11, the table shows the values of R and S. If S directly proportional, work out the missing value of S. If this directly proportional, to find the missing, use a cross multiply method. So to find this one, multiply 1.2 by 0.06, then divide 1.6. To find the missing, listen, to find the missing, 1.2 times 0.06 divide 1.6 equals 0.045. Okay. Now to find double I, to find the formula connecting R and S, for direct proportion the ratio is constant. The ratio is constant. You can divide R by S or S by R. You have a choice. Same. If we divide R by S, 1.6 divide 0.06, simplest form 80 over 3 as a fraction. So you can write this R over S equals 80 over 3. Or you can write S over R equal 3 over 80. Or you can write S, no need for mixed number, S equal 3 over 80 R. Any one of them is correct, okay? For B, if S is inversely proportional to R, work out the missing value. If inversely proportional, yes, so line multiply. So how to find the missing?
1.6 times 0.06 divided.
Yes, you are right. 1.6 times 0.06 times 1.2. So for B, I, to find the missing, because inversely proportional, so it's line multiply. So 1.6 times 0.06 divide 1.2 equals 0.08. Now to find the formula connecting R and S, multiply them. So R times S. R times S, this means 1.6 times 0.06, 0.096. Okay. So you can write the formula RS equals 0.096. Or you can write R equal 0.096 over S. Or you can write S equal 0.096 over R. Okay?